Opportunity cost is an imaginary cost. Opportunity cost is an imaginary cost which is equal to the amount of gain one could have made had the resources been deployed elsewhere. Now you can ask me how to connect this opportunity cost to bureaucracy. There is a concept, many scholars have criticized a Weberian model of bureaucracy on the ground that it is characterized by trained incapacity, and that trained incapacity leads to increase in opportunity cost. So how to relate that? It means bureaucracy, as we know, invariably bureaucracy all over the world in a modern democratic setup, wherever you have this kind of democratic polity, bureaucracy functions under a common legal code. So one of the defining characteristics of Weberian model of bureaucracy is this, that the bureaucrats takes decision on the basis of predetermined rules and regulations or common legal code. The requirement of conformity to the principles of objectivity and rationality, or principle of impartiality, demands that actions taken by the bureaucracy or action taken by any bureaucrat must be in keeping with one or the provisions of the common legal code, and there should never be a reflection of personal prejudice, personal passion, personal presumption, or one's own subjective past experiences, one's subjective notion of right and wrong. All such things should not be reflected in the actions of bureaucrats. So what I mean to say that the bureaucracy or bureaucrats over a long period of time, in the course of working in keeping with the common legal code, rules and regulation, restriction on the expression of any kind of subjective, the norms or the values, they end up becoming very much mechanical in approach. So whenever it comes to take decision, they generally resort to one or other, the provisions of the common legal code, because they need to prove that their action is in sync with the requirement of law in the given situation. This tendency to conform to one or the provisions of law, rules, regulation and the procedures over a period of time cripples the intellectual spontaneity of bureaucrats on many occasions. It happens because when you keep taking all decisions always on the basis of some pre-established rules and regulations, then you end up compromising with your ability to take creative decisions. So your ability for creative thinking is seriously compromised. You become habituated of taking decisions on the basis of established norms. So in that case, when you come across a new situation which you have never seen or your predecessors have never seen in the past, you are exposed to a new challenge, a new situation where you need to go for out-of-box thinking, you fail. Your very training as a bureaucrat to work under rules and regulation, the very training which you have been given or you have been given over a period of time, the very training of bureaucrats creates a kind of incapacity for them to take a decision in a new situation. This is known as trained incapacity. In simple words, when you train somebody to build capacity and not to diminish the capacity or cripple the capacity. But sarcastically, we say, or quite sarcastically, it has been seen, all over the world, that too much of, concern for rules, regulations and procedures, always taking decisions on the basis of the common legal code. In the course of time, instead of developing some kind of capacity, it creates incapacity or it diminishes your capacity to take decisions in a new environment, beyond the confines of established rules and procedures. What I mean to say in simple words, the bureaucrats, thanks to their obsession with rules and procedures over a period of time and their training, they end up losing their ability of creative thinking. So in that case, instead of doing something good, they end up becoming a liability. So if any bureaucrat is given a new assignment where they need to come up with a new line of thinking, a lot of creativity, a lot of innovative spirit is required, then the bureaucrat may not be a suitable person for that. Their very training tends to cripple their efficiency when they are exposed to a new set of problems and challenges. And if you appoint bureaucrat in this kind of situation, opportunity cost increases. The bureaucrats are meant for contributing to policy making, policy implementation, designing programs and projects of the government. And if you appoint such bureaucrats if you appoint such bureaucrats to look after the development of tourism industry of development of transport system in any city, which demands a lot of commercial prudence and very good understanding of economics, commerce, and lot many things. So bureaucrats bureaucrats end up becoming a kind of liability, and the opportunity cost increases because the time which a bureaucrat is made to spend while promoting tourism and development tourism industry in one of the states, that time could have been used by the government, that time could have been used by the government more meaningfully if the bureaucrat was given the responsibility for policy making or implementation, etc. So trained incapacity and opportunity cost, they are interlinked. If bureaucrats are appointed to deal with a situation, appointed to a position wherein they need to exhibit creative thinking, they fail to do so, and that leads to increase in the opportunity cost. If for 3 years that bureaucrat is working on that position, it means for 3 years, he could have done 10 times better had he been deployed in the traditional area of bureaucracy. This is the link between trained incapacity and